So are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So yesterday we have learned regarding that file input and output. Okay. The basically the file input and output is the process of interacting with the file stored on your computer. Okay. In programmically we can say the input means reading, output means writing. Okay. So today we need to do some exercise on file input and output. Okay, so before that we need to know the one thing regarding that. So we need to understand the scanner class in Java. Okay, to understand scanner in class in class. Okay, so the scanner class in Java is like a tool that helps you to take input from the user. Okay, and it's useful when your program needs to interact with the people by asking the questions or getting the information like numbers, words, or entire sentences. Okay, for that thing we need the scanner class. Okay, so we need to know how we can use the scanner class. Okay, the first thing I will open my VS Code and I will create one folder. Sorry, I'll create a folder means O. Okay, so here I will create one Java main.java. Okay, so here I have created and the public. Okay, public static main, static void main. Okay, got it. Okay, so here we need to import the package in the sense we need to import the class. Okay, from the library, the import java dot util scanner. Okay, there is a class called scanner. Okay, so before using the scanner we need to import it the top of your program. Okay, and next thing we need to create the scanner object. Okay, to start using the scanner we need to create an object. Okay, so here I will create one object scanner. Okay, sc, here I will new scanner. Okay, so inside that I have to add some parameter like system.in. Okay, here the system.in that tells the scanner to read the input from the keyboard. Okay, and third thing we need to read the input. Okay, the scanner can read the different type of data using the specific method called string, number, and boolean, like that. In the string in the sense we can use some methods like next line. Okay, I will write here. Okay, suppose for this string. Okay, for string we can use the next line method, because of we need to read the full line of the text. Okay, and next thing for the next, only next. Okay, only next in the sense that reads the single word. Okay, and next thing it's a number. In the number, so we can see, suppose if we want to read the integer, then we need to use this method. Okay, suppose if you want to read the decimal number, okay, then you have to use that next and double. Okay, suppose if you want to use that a floating point number, so then you can use that next float. And if you want to read the long integer, then you can use the next long. Okay, suppose if you want to use read the true or false values, so then you can use that next boolean. Okay, so we'll do one code for string. Okay, so where is my, okay, here. So I will read, I want to read the screen, like string. Okay, so first I will print the question, print out dot print, sorry, println. Okay, in the println I will add something regarding what's your name, what is your name. Okay, so here we need to use, so right now we are using the like, yeah, so here we will so we are using the string in the sense, so we need to use this method in the string, we need to use the next line. Okay, so here the string, the name and the scanner, like equal to, so we need to use that reference, that sc, so we have created, okay, sc dot and next line. Okay, so yeah, yeah, this is regarding the string. Okay, so we need to print this one, system dot out dot name will be the, okay, so now I will run this code. You'll see here. Okay, the terminal asks your name actually. Okay, I will run. Okay, here you can see what's your name. Okay, so now we have to add the name. The name is, I will add Yuvraj. Okay, the name is Yuvraj. Okay, you can see the output. Got it? Okay, suppose if you want to use some integer, okay, so then you can use, so you can ask the question, how old are you, old are you. Okay, so if you using that int, like if you are using the int, you can use that int data type here, the age. Okay, and the sc dot next int method we have to use. Okay, so in the print I will change that name age, and here I will add that age. So I will print the age clear. I will rerun again. So the run Java. Okay, first one, what's your name, it's a Yuvraj. Okay, its second one, how old are you. Okay, you can say 25. So finally you can say the output, name is Yuvraj and age is 25. So this is regarding the scanner. Okay, so the main thing, so always like we need to close the scanner using that scanner dot close. Okay, when you are done to the free up the, like done to free up resource. Okay, and the one thing we have to know regarding the important, the behavior of mixing the next line and the other methods. Okay, suppose if you use the next int or similar method before the next line, so you might need to clear the input, the buffer with extra scanner dot next line. Okay, so this is regarding the scanner. Okay, so just basically we are using the scanner, the like we can say like this, just like a tool. Okay, that helps you to take input from the user, and it useful when your program needs to interact with the people by asking the question or getting the information like numbers, words and entire sentences. So this is regarding the scanner. Okay, so now we need to do some exercises. Okay, so the first exercise, statement is writing a simple diary. Okay, this is our statement. So we need to code for this like we need to use the file input and output, and we need to create one in like simple diary. Okay, the user can write something, just like you can imagine that diary only. User can add anything. Okay, so we'll code for this thing. Okay, so next thing I will add diary dot java. Okay, so here I will let public, and here I need to import some packages. The import java dot input output dot file. Okay, and import java dot io file writer. Okay, import java dot io exceptions. The io exceptions. And fourth thing, import, we need to import the scanner java dot util dot scanner. Okay, so we have imported the file writer and io exceptions and scanner. File writer in the sense we need to write something. Okay, io exception in the sense in the catch, so we need to find some errors. Okay, and the scanner we need to add some inputs. Okay, so here we need to need to create a file. Okay, for that thing I will create one instance. Okay, the file is new the file. So I will create one file. The file name is diary dot txt. Okay, so here I will create one file writer I can kept as a null. So I will use the scanner s is equal to new the scanner system dot in. Okay, so now I can use the try method. Okay, so here I will create the file writer object in the append mode. The writer I will use that reference. The writer is equal to new, and the file writer I will use that file, and I will make that code. Okay, so next thing I will do one thing here. So we need to entry like we need to take the input from the user. Okay, so for that thing I will add the question, write your diary entries. Okay, write your entry. Okay, so I will take some inputs from the string. The string entry sc dot next line. Okay, and now I need to append the entry to the file. Writer dot write the entry plus I will use that slash in for the next line. Okay, I will print this sort. So here I will add the messages like your entry has been saved. Okay, so in the catch method, so I will use that IO exceptions, dot e. Okay, here I will call that message e dot get message. Okay, so here finally I need to close that writer uh, reference. Okay, finally I will close that writer dot close. If the writer is not equal to null, the writer is not equal to null, then we need to close that writer dot close. Okay, so this is regarding the closing. In the catch I can print that one. So in the catch we will print this one. Okay, so here now we will run this code. Okay, so you can observe here we have only two files. One it's a diary.java, one it's a main.java. Okay, so you can observe the something I'm trying to run. Okay, here you can see the right part, there is this extra file diary.txt. okay, so now I'm writing something. Okay, so I will write the happy new year. Okay, it's a 2025. Okay, when I enter this one, so you can see the message your entry has been saved. Okay, now you can open the diary docs.txt. That content will be available in this file txt. So this is regarding that writing the simple diary. Okay, so I will give you one two more scenarios: reading the shopping list and logging the user activity. Okay, the same thing you have to do like a homework. Okay, so I will explain this code, the diary. Okay, so here the file writer is the class. Okay, use it to write the character to file. Okay, in this example the file is diary.txt is specified for the writing. Okay, and we use the file writer. Okay, you can see here we can use the file writer, that file and true. Okay, to enable the append mode, basically we have to use this file writer, that file and true. Okay, the true arguments, these true arguments, they ensure that the new entry are added to the end of the file rather than overwriting existing content. Okay, and if the file does not exist, okay, the file writer will create it automatically. Okay, and next thing you can see the scanner. Okay, scanner is the class used to read the input from the user. Okay, and in this case it capture the diary entry typed by the user. Okay, you can see the next line where it is. Okay, here. Okay, the sc dot next line, it reads the full line of the text entered by the user. Okay, so next thing you can see that exceptional handling. Okay, here we have used the try catch block is used to handle the potential IO exceptions. Okay, which can which can occur if there are issues with a file. Okay, such as permission problem or a file not being found, like that. Okay, and the catch block, you can see the catch block catch the exception and print the error message if any issues arise while opening or writing the file. Okay, you can see in the finally block ensures that the file writer and scanner object are closed properly. Okay, regardless of the whether an exception occurred or not. Okay, and the closing the file writer is necessary to flush any remaining data to the file and to release the system resources, and if not closed properly then it could cause the resource leaks. Okay, and that closing the scanner is also important to release the system resource, and it holds the for reading the input. Okay, so this is regarding the this statement. Actually the statement is writing the simple diary, and this is the code. Okay, I will give you the two more scenarios, two more statements, and how to do code for that one and how to push to the GitHub. Got it? Am I audible? Do you
Yes,
have
sir.
any queries on this thing?
No, sir.
What about you, Raj?
No, sir.
Are you sure?
Sir.
Okay, what about Preetham? I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
So what about Preetham?
Yes.
What about Preetham?
Hello. Yes, sir.
So do you understand that statement, that writing the simple diary?
I can, sir.
Sorry, um, like you are not audible.
Yes, sir.
Like, can
You
you
can.
little like, am I audible? No.
Yes.
Okay, got it. So we'll go for the multi-threading. Okay, multi-threading. Okay. So basically, what is the multi-threading? Okay, the multi-threading is the Java feature that allow the concurrent executions of two or more threads to maximize the CPU utilization. Okay, and each method, like each thread, runs independently and shares the same memory space, and it's especially useful in the scenario where the multiple tasks need to run the simultaneously. Okay, such as processing the large data sets and running the background tasks, or managing the user interaction in the graphic user interface applications. So this is regarding the multi-threading. Okay, so what are the key concepts for the multi-threading? Okay, the first thing we can say regarding the process. First thing, it's a process. Okay, and next thing, it's a thread. Okay, next thing is a thread, and one more thing, it's a concurrency. Con- Concurrency, and third thing, parallelism. Okay, so these are the four things we can see. The process, in the sense, the process is an independent program, is execution with the own memory space. Okay, a thread means is thread is a small unit within the process, sharing the same memory but running the independently. The interviewer asked regarding the process versus thread. What is the difference between process and thread? Okay, the process is an independent program, is execution with its own memory space, but the thread is a smaller unit within the process. Okay, the sharing the same memory but running the independently. Okay, the concurrency means it refers to ability to run multiple tasks in the overlapping time period. Okay, in the parallelism, in the sense, like it refers to simultaneously execution. I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Screen is not visible.
yeah, now.
Yes, sir.
So the parallelism in the sense that refers to the simultaneous execution of tasks. Typically, we can say on multi-core processors. Okay, but we need to know why we need this multi-threading actually. Okay, so we need to know some benefits. Okay, so here the thing first thing we can say it's a performance. Improved performance. Okay, the improved performance in the sense the tasks are executed in the parallelly, and here the reducing the total execution time. So for that things we can say it's a improved performance. Okay, the second thing it's efficient CPU utilization. Efficient CPU utilization. Okay, so even when you like when one thread is waiting, okay, and other thread can run, but keeping the CPU is busy. The thing is, even when one thread is waiting, for example for input output, and other thread can run, like keeping the CPU busy, we can say. Okay, and third thing it's asynchronous behavior. Asynchronous asynchronous behavior. Okay, so here we can say the tasks are like a file input and output or network operation. Okay, can run without blocking the main thread. Okay, and the fourth thing, the enhance the user experience. Enhance enhance the user experience. Okay, so here there is a one thing for graphic user interface based applications, the multi-threading ensuring the responsiveness by offloading the time consuming operation to the background threads. So these are the four things. So we need the multi-threading. So these are the reasons, these are the benefits. Okay, first thing it's improved performance, second thing it's efficient CPU utilization. Okay, and third thing it's asynchronous. Okay, and fourth thing it's a enhanced user experience. Okay, and now we need to know regarding the thread. Okay, in Java the thread is an object. Okay, and that encapsulated the single sequential flow of control within the program. Okay, the thread is an object that encapsulates a single sequential flow of control within the program. Okay, and basically the Java provides the two primary ways, okay, to create the and manage the threads. Okay, the one is extending the thread class, extending the thread class, and the second thing implementing the runnable interface. Okay, so the Java provides the two primary ways to create and manage the threads. One it's extending the thread class, and second thing it's implementing the runnable interface. Okay, so we need to know the life cycle of the thread. Okay, the life cycle of a thread. thread in Java undergoes the following statement during the life cycles. So the first thing, it's a new. The new in the sense the thread is created using the thread class, okay, but has not started like execution yet, okay. So next thing, it's a runnable, okay. The runnable in the sense the thread is the ready to run, but it's waiting for the CPU allocation by the thread scheduler, okay. And third thing, it's the running, okay. So here we can see that the thread is actively executing, okay. And fourth thing, blocking, like blocked or waiting, okay. So here the thread is waiting for the resources or another thread to complete its task, okay. And the fifth thing, it's a terminated. The thread has finished the execution, okay. These are the life cycle methods for the thread. The first one, it's a new. The thread is created using the thread class, but has not started execution yet. And the runnable, the thread is ready to run, but it's waiting for the CPU allocation by the thread scheduler. And third thing, it's running. The thread is actively executing. And the block and waiting, the thread is waiting for the resource or another thread to complete its task. And last thing, it's a terminated, the thread has finished execution, okay. So we need to know how to create the thread in Java, okay. Here we need to know how to create a thread, okay. So the first method, we can say the extending the thread class. The first method, the method 1 extending the thread class, okay. In this approach, so the class extend the thread class, and the override, it's a run is a run method to define the thread behavior, okay. So we will code for this thing, okay. So I will write the code for the thread class. I will create a one folder for a separate thread, okay. The inside thread, I will create the class like Java thread.java, okay. So here there is a public static void main, okay. So before that, I will create one class, okay. The class is the my thread extends thread, okay. So we need to override, okay, the public void run, the run, okay. So here I will create simple loop, okay. The for int is start from the 0 and till 5, and I is plus plus, okay. So here I will print the thread dot current thread and dot get name, and I will add some timing. Okay, so we need to pause the thread for 1 second. So for that thing I will type that try method here, thread dot sleep, it's 1,000, like 1,000 means 1 millisecond, like 1 second you can say 1,000 millisecond equal to 1 second. The catch here I can add that interrupted exception dot e. Okay, the e dot print. Okay, so here I will create the instance for my thread. The my thread, the t1 is equal to new the my thread. Okay, so I will call that method the t1 to start. Okay, we need to start the thread. Okay, so we will run this code and check once. To clear this one, I will run. You can see the thread is going on right now. Are you able to see my screen? I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
You can see I'm trying to run my code, and you can see the output there is a thread. Okay, 1 2 3 4. Okay, so this is the extending the thread class. Okay, so the basically I will explain the code. Okay, so here that defining the custom thread class, there is a my thread. Okay, the my thread class extend to the thread. Okay, to create the custom thread. Okay, and this means that each instance of the thread, my thread, is the thread. Okay, can be executed in the parallelly to the other thread. Okay, next thing, override y means the run method is overridden from the thread class. Okay, and this method contains code that will execute when the thread is started. Okay, now we need to now regarding the run. Okay, run method. Okay, so here the for loop runs 5 times. Okay, that I ranges from the 0 to 4. Okay, and that thread thread dot current thread dot get name means here we need to retrieve the names of the current, like the currently executed threads, and basically this helps to differentiate between the thread using the during the execution. Okay, and here we are printing. Okay, we need to print the name of the current threads and the value I to the console. Okay, and next thing we can see in the line number 9. Okay, the thread does sleep 1,000 means we need to pause the thread for 1 second. 1 second equal to 1,000 millisecond. Okay, and this introduces the delay in the thread execution. Okay, and next thing, catch method, you can see that the exception handling if the thread is interrupted during sleep. Okay, that interrupted exception is catch, and the stack trace is printed. Okay, the next thing you can like see here where it is. Okay, there is a public static void main. Okay, the entry point of our program. Okay, the main is the thread. Okay, for the execute this code. Okay, and we need to create and starting the thread. Okay, for that thing you can see this code actually the line number 19. Okay, here we can see that a line the new instance for the my thread is the created. Okay, and this represents a new thread but does not start execute it. Okay, so next line we have called that method the t1 dot start. Okay, the start method is called to begin the thread execution. Okay, that internally the start invokes the run methods in the new thread. Okay, so this is regarding the a thread. Okay, I will call one more thing. Okay, one more. I will create one more thread. Let's see what will happen. The T2, and I will call that T2 here. Okay, so here I will run the code once. Before that, I will clear things. I will run the code. The run 110. Okay, you can see the both T1 and T2 here run the parallelly. Okay, so this is regarding the thread. Okay, the exact output order depends on the thread scheduler. The scheduler in the sense the managed by the operating system. Okay, so the console output may vary each time the program is run. Okay, this is regarding that thread, extending the thread actually. Okay, got it? Am I audible?
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, shall I go to the next thing?
Yes, sir. Sir.
Okay, the next thing, it's a we need to implement the runnable interface. The method 2, it's a run. We need to implement a runnable interface. Okay, so here we need to the class, the implement the runnable interface, and the define the thread task in the run method. Okay, we'll do the code for this thing. I will explain the code in briefly. Okay, so the next thing, it's a runnable. I will create a file called runnable dot java. Okay, so we have to create the public. Okay, and here I will create one class, that is a custom class. The class name is the my runnable implements. We have using the name is runnable. Okay, so here I will use that override. Okay, here I will use the public void, and I need to use that method run. Okay, so I will print that thing. So I will copy from here the runnable. Okay, the print I equal to start from the 0 and I is less than 5 and I plus plus system dot print and thread dot current thread dot get name I. Okay, here we are pausing the things, so we are giving the 1000 milliseconds, and okay, why we are like getting the error here? Thread dot runnable. Okay, thread fix. Okay, so we will create an instance for thread. The thread T1. I will create a new thread. So here I will use that the new my runnable. Okay, so here I will call that method the T1 dot start. Okay, the same thing I will create one more thing here, the T2, and it is also T2, and yeah, this is regarding the okay. Got it. Why we are getting this error? The constructor thread name is undefined. Okay, constructor is undefined. Why? So we are using the class is my runnable implements the runnable. There is a class, okay. So here the void public void run int start from the I equal to 0 and I is less than equal like less than 5 and I plus plus. So here we are printing the thread. So check once the code is running or not actually. Okay, I'm getting some error. What is the error? The error is let's see once move outside. Okay, so here I will check that thing. The constructor thread, the runnable is undefined. Okay, the constructor thread is undefined. Why? So runnable is the class. Okay, it's correct only. So we did a wrong thing. I will delete this one. I'll check the thread. Create the runnable socket file. I will paste that inside the runnable. I will check once the thread runnable. Oh, it's getting error. Source graph site admin disabled. Okay, so I will explain the code and let you know. Okay, so here the my run runnable implement the runnable. There is a class. Okay, here the runnable is a functional interface is in the Java. Okay, and that defines a single method called run. Okay, that run method is contains the task that the thread will execute. Okay, and that override it indicate that and like indicates that the run method is being overridden from the runnable interface. Okay, in the for loop they execute the 5 iterations from the I equal to 0 to 4. Okay, in each iteration it prints the current thread, a name, and the iteration count I, the get name and I. Okay, so that thread dot current thread and get name it's retrieve the name of the thread currently executing this code. Okay, the line number 9, the thread dot sleep 1000 means it's pausing the thread for the 1000 millisecond between the each iteration. Okay, in the catch method there is a interrupted exceptions, you can see. Okay, a checked the exception that occur if the thread is interrupted while sleeping. Okay, then this method print the like uh, for the debugging purpose. Okay, so next thing, so here we can see in the here. So here this is the entry point. Okay, and next thing here we have creating the threads. Okay, here like we are creating the new thread called t1. Okay, and assign it the task defined by instance of my runnable. You can see the my runnable. Okay, and the t2 same thing similarly, but create the another thread for the t2 with the same task. Okay, and here the t1 dot start and t2 dot start, the start method that begins the execution of thread t1 and t2. Okay, that internally the invokes the run method by method of my runnable. Okay, so here we need to know like why it's giving the error. So first thing, it's a runnable. It should not give the out, like it should not throw the error. Give me some time, I will. This is the run. Why this one it's getting the undefined? The red thing is new thread. Are we using the thread? Okay, the thread we are using the name main thread. We're choosing thread. So instead of, you can use the runnable thread inside the process. Okay. So now okay, that interrupt section. Okay, this is the runnable and the main method also it's working fine. What about the thread dot run? So here it's working fine in the sense here also it should work. Why it's giving the error for runnable? Is that runnable spelling is correct for me? Runnable dot runnable. Okay, I will check in the Google. The public class is extend B. Okay, so here what we have done in the thread, the my thread is extended thread. Will run once, it's working fine or not, clear, and the run. So here we can see the parallelly thread is running, the T1 and T2. But what about the runnable? The runnable, it should. Okay, do one thing. I will use this method. I use this class in the thread only. Check once. Yeah, here I will create those two things. The thread T1 and T2. P1. I will run once. Okay, now we are able to like get the output actually regarding the runnable. Okay, so now we are able to get the thread and runnable also. Okay, the next thing like okay, the next thing we need to know regarding the thread synchronize. Okay, so before that we need to know that key methods of the thread class. Okay, so we have some methods, like we have seen some new methods. Okay, so we'll see the new methods here. The first thing, it's a start method. Okay, so here the start the thread and call the run method. Okay, next one is the run method. Basically here start the thread and then calls the run method. Okay, the run method is contains the code to be executed by thread. Okay, and one more method is the sleep. Okay, sleep, it will store as a milliseconds. Okay, so here we can pause the thread for the specified time. Okay, and next thing, it's a join method. Okay, the join method, we need to wait for the thread to finish before in the continuing. Okay, and one more method is there regarding that get name. The get name. Okay, so here the get and set threads name, we can say the get and sets name. Okay, for setting we have to string names. Okay, so we'll go like we need to understand the next thing, it's a thread synchronization. Okay, this is regarding the methods, and we need to know the next part is the thread synchronization. Synchronization. Okay, so basically the synchronization is ensure that the only thread accesses a critical section of code at time. Basically you can say it's preventing the data inconsistency. Okay, the basically the synchronize ensure that the only one thread accesses a critical section of the code at a time. Okay, and preventing the data inconsistency. Okay, we'll code for the synchronized block, like we can create one more method for that thing. So there is a sync, 1 minute, sync. Okay, I will create one method. Synchronize dot java. So here public static void main. Okay, so before that we have to create one, like the class. Okay, the class name is shared resource. Shared shared resource. Okay, we need to use the public void one, create one more method, the print numbers. These are the existing keywords, and here we need to use that word called synchronized. Okay, but this here I will loop the things. Okay, that previous loop only I will take the for loop. Okay, here that int I equal to 1 to 5 less than equal to 5. Okay, and we are printing that thread dot current thread dot get name plus I. Okay, and here we are giving the pausing time is 1 millisecond, like 1 second, but I put a half millisecond right now. So next thing, so we need to create one more custom class. Okay, the class is the my thread, that extends the thread. Okay, so here I will create one more thing, the shared resource as a resource. Okay, so here I will add that my thread, the shared resource and resource. Okay, I will update in this resource equal to resource. Okay, so I will override something here. I will create add that run method here. Provide. I will explain the code after the completion. Just I'm writing the things. I will print the numbers resource dot that print numbers. Okay, so then I will create the instance. Okay, using the shared resource. The shared resource, the resources is equal to new the shared resources. Okay, so here I will create the one thread t1 is new my thread, and I will add that resources. Okay, resource. The same thing I will create for the t2, and I will call the method along with t1 and t2. t1 dot start and the t2 dot start. Okay, so now I will run this code. T1, T2, T3, T4, T5. You can see the T1. Yeah. Now we got the things. Okay. So I will explain the code here. Okay. The code is yeah. The first thing. Okay. The class shared resource. Okay. This class contains the shared method that multiple threads will access. Okay, and the next thing is the synchronize, the new word. Okay, the synchronize this in the sense ensure that the mutual exclusion, we can say, meaning the only one thread can execute the print numbers method at a time. Okay, and the log is basically the placed on the current object this. Okay, so any other thread trying to access this method will wait until the lock is released. Okay, in the for loop you can see the loops is printing the number, the prints the numbers from the 1 to 5, like simulating the some processing time. Okay, you can see the printing the thread dot current thread dot get name. Here we can see the retrieve the name of the current thread. Okay, and the line number 9 you can see the thread dot sleep is a 500. Okay, here we need to see the pause the thread for the 500 millisecond to simulate a delay in the execution. Okay, in the catch block you can see that handle the interruptions during the sleep. Okay, and you can see line number 18. Okay, it's a class my thread. This is the class extend thread and acts as a custom thread. Okay, and next thing slide number 19. Okay, shared resource. Okay, this is a reference to the shared object that the thread will operate on. Okay, and here line number 21. Okay, there's a constructor to initialize the thread with the shared resource. Okay, and you can see that run method. Okay, the run method, the override the run method of the thread class. This is where the thread is like thread's task is defined, and it calls the print numbers method of the shared resource. You can see the line number 27. Okay, so now you can see in the main method. Okay, here we have creating the single instance for the shared resource that both threads will share. Okay, the t1 and t2. Okay, here we are creating the two threads t1 and t2 both accessing the same shared resources. Okay, and here we the start the threads triggering their the run methods, and you can see that t1 dot starts and t1 t2 dot starts. Okay, here this is regarding that synchronized. Okay, so I will explain one more times regarding that synchronized. Okay, so here the basically Java ability to run the multiple thread simultaneously. The first thing, okay, and next thing the significant of the thread class and it's a run method. Okay, in the shared resource, what happened when multiple thread access the shared resource? Okay, and the potential, the race condition, and the inconsistent output if it is not synchronized. Okay, in the synchronized keyword, how the synchronized ensure that only one thread accessed the critical section at a time. Okay, then why synchronize this locks the current object, the shared resource. Okay, then how the thread dot sleep add the delay between the iteration. It uses in the simultaneous real world processing delays. Okay, so this is regarding the synchronized. Okay, the next thing we can see that inter-thread communication. Okay, the inter-thread communication. Thread communication. Okay, so inter-thread communication in the sense is essential when your threads needs to coordinate with their actions. Okay, the action in the sense we have some methods, the wait and notify. Okay, we will using that wait and notify, we'll code for that thing. Okay, so we'll code for the inter-thread communication. Okay, so here I will create the inter. Okay, I will create the inter-thread dot Java. Okay, so here I will create that main method, the public. So here also we need to create that shared resource. Okay, that class shared resource. Okay, we need to use some private thing. I need to use the private boolean to use flag as a false. I will explain the code. Okay, here we need to use the synchronized white synchronized keyword and while need to use one method called produce. Okay, so here I will add that loop actually while the flag, then need to wait and use the wait method here. Okay, so here in the catch I will use the previous code for the catch. Okay, and I will print the that flag as true. Okay, and we'll use that method called notify. Okay, we'll print here something like start produced. Okay, so same thing, I will create one more method called consume. So we have created a method called produce. Okay, now I will create called the method is consume. Okay, so synchronized the white consume. Okay, here I will check that white is not equal, it is not black. It's not flag. I need to wait for that thing to wait, and exceptionals you can use that one. So then I will use the system.out.println out consumed. Consumed, the flag is equal to false. Okay, and I will call that method is notify. Okay, so then I will create the reference, that is shared resources equal to new shared resources. Okay, so here I will loop the things. Okay, the first thing is the thread dot producer, like producer the new thread. What happened? So there is a thread. So here I will create that one. Okay, so here I will loop the thing. The loop is going to start from the I equal to 0 and I is less than 5 and I is plus plus. And here I will call that resource dot produce method. Okay, the same thing I will do for the consumer. Okay, consumer thread 5, I need to use the consume. Okay, and now I will call the methods producer dot start and consumer dot start. Okay, we'll see what will happen. Okay, you can see the printing, the like the producer and consumer product, like produce like printing here. Okay, so the 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5, yeah. So now I will explain the code. Okay, the first thing, it's a shared resource is the class. The purpose, acts as a shared resource between the producer and consumer threads. Okay, so here the key elements we can say the private boolean and flag. So a flag that indicates the current state of the resources. Okay, the false in the sense it's a ready to produce, true in the sense it's a ready to consume. Okay, for the synchronized white produce, the method for the producer thread to create an item. Okay, and the synchronized wait consume in the sense it's a method for the consume the thread to consume an item. Okay, and the shared resource produces, like in the produces, the purpose, like it allow the produces thread to produce an item. Okay, so here the behavior we can say, like if flag is true. Okay, if flag is true, like it indicating the resources is already produced. Okay, the producer must wait until the consumer consumes it. Okay, so that thing uses the wait to pause the thread until notified. Okay, after producing the sets a flag is equal to true, then the calls notified to wake up the waiting consumers. Okay, so here the flow that checks if the flag is true, the waits if the already produced, and produces the items and update the flag, and after that notify the consumer thread. Okay, for example the output is produced. Okay, in the consumer method basically the purpose of the consumer consume method, it's allow the consumer thread to consume an item. Okay, so here if the flag is false they indicate that nothing is produced. Okay, the consumer must wait until the producer produces the something. Okay, and here we need to like use the wait method to pause the thread until notified. Okay, after consuming the sets the flag is false, you can see the line number 30. Okay, and calls the like the notify to wake up the producer. Okay, the flow if the flag is false, the waits if nothing to consume, and consumes the item and update the flag. After that we can say the notify the producer thread, and the output we can say it's a consume. Okay, in the main class you can say in the main method. Okay, in the main method there is the shared resource and resource, and is instanced of the shared resource used by both threads. The two threads are producer and consumer. Okay, in the producer thread, so here we can use that lambda function is passed to the thread constructor. Okay, here the calls the producers the method to the shared resource for the 5 times in the loop, you can see. Okay, the same thing in the consumer thread, here the similar to the producer but calls the consume things. Okay, here the calls the consumes method the shared resource 5 times in the loop in this thing. Okay, and the synchronized mechanism, the wait method basically this wait method is called when thread wants to wait until certain condition is met. Okay, and one more thing, it's released in intrinsic lock, we can say, on the shared resource, so other thread can proceed. For the notify, wake up once the waiting thread. Okay, and ensure that the balanced interaction between the producer and consumer. Okay, so both threads start simultaneously, and the producer creates an item and notify the consumer, and consumer consumes the items and notify the producer, and the cycle continuously until both thread finishes their loops. We can see in the output here the producer creates the item, the notify until consumed consumer. Okay, and the consumer consumes the items and notify the producer. Okay, this cycle continues until both threads finishing their loops. So this is regarding that inter-thread communication. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so there is only one there is one thread falling is left, so we will do tomorrow. Okay, we'll do tomorrow and some problems regarding the problem solving. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so do you
Yes,
have
sir.
any doubts on the multi-threading?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what about Preetham, Yuvraj?
No, sir.
Hi Priyanka, you came late, no, today?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you can go through once video and if you have any doubt and let me know, so okay, we'll discuss. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay, and one more point, so you guys are need to improve your introduction part. Okay, what I sent in which I sent in the group, okay, you have to follow those things and properly and practice every day. Okay, and
Yes, sir.
please solve those sheets which I sent in the group, and please push into the GitHub every day. I'm telling, okay, and please share your GitHub profiles. I want to see your the codes, and the main thing is that oops scenarios, and please do solve. If you have any doubts, so we can discuss on that thing. Okay.
Sir.
Yeah, do you have any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Any doubt, Yuvraj?
Sir. No,
Okay,
sir.
then we can wrap up the session. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then thank you.
Thank you.